Hi, I'm Brett Savaglio from the VJ, and today we're going to take a look at how to create an amazing video for social media. In this tutorial, we're not only going to show you how to tell a great story in a social media video, but how to use effects and editing to enhance your video. Our lead edit instructor, Kelly Corzan, is going to take you through a step-by-step process on how to make a social media video to sell a product.
So in this video, we have a skateboarder here, and we can see that I have 13 shots here lined up on my timeline. It lasts about 24 seconds. And I have some raw footage. Now this footage wasn't shot for this purpose, okay? So it was shot to do something else, not to be a dynamic, exciting skateboarding promotional video. So we had to kind of, with effects and editing, make it look that way. So we're selling the lifestyle of the skateboarder, not the skateboard. And I put together these 13 shots. So let's just take a look at how it looks without any treatment at all, with just the video.
Cool, and cut. What?
Okay, so, I mean, not very exciting. It kind of just sits there. I don't know if I saw this on Facebook, if I would necessarily click on it and watch it. So, you know, we've got the basics there, where I've pulled the shots that are the most dynamic from what was quite a lot of stuff where, you know, he's not doing much, or he's just not quite good at it yet. Again, this wasn't shot for this, so he's kind of a beginning skateboard, but still the lifestyle is cool, right? And we want to really drive that home. So one of the things I want to do is, first I'm going to remove that background audio, right?
Cool, and cut.
That's Francisco, our amazing DP that shoots stuff for us. So I'm going to just take the audio all the way down so it's just visuals, because we can hear him speaking. And I may add in some background ambient location sound soon. All right, so the first thing, I do have a piece of music that I've pre-edited to drop in here. And we can watch it with that and just kind of get an idea of how we're building it. So again, let's take a look. Okay, so that actually helped a lot already, but I'm not really happy with the way this footage is looking. So we're going to do a little color correction on these shots. Now, a lot of times with social videos, I'm just going to go into the color board. Command 6 is a good shortcut to know. It takes me right in there, and I'm going to come over and just do a few things. I'm going to just brighten the shot a little bit and kind of bring down the blacks to do the contrast. And I'm going to saturate it. Because images on social media, the little windows are so small, saturating or even oversaturating or hypersaturating the image is actually a really good technique to make it stand out on the page. You know, something like this is pretty washed out, and then you see something like that, and it really grabs your attention. So that's a pretty good correction. And I'm going to copy that, Command C, and then I'm going to select the rest of them and go Shift Command V to just paste. I'm not going to paste the audio attributes. I'm going to just go ahead and paste that so that the effect is on all of my clips now. So they're now all hyper-saturated. I'm just going to go through because that correction for the shoes might not have worked for everything, so I'm just going to check it out. So this one here, this is a little darker than I'd like, and let's see, these are all okay. This one's a little also just a little darker than I'd really like. I'm going to bring up the midtones and kind of get it to match the other stuff. Let's just check it out. All right. So yeah, that looks a lot better, I think. This one might be a little blown out. I'm just going to come to that one, and let's just take that down just a little bit to bring out more detail. Okay, so I think we have our color correction. Now, there's another issue, and so that's just color correction, just you'd use it for anything. But towards storytelling, what we're trying to say here is that the lifestyle of a skateboarder is so cool that you're going to want to buy our skateboard. And so we could probably treat the footage with a little filter that adds that supports that story. So I'm going to close that, and I'm going to open our filters here. And I want something a little down and dirty and grungy. He's in you can see he's in just a regular park in New York City, which is a concrete park. No grass, so it's kind of urban and grungy. So I'm going to look at some of the filters that you could look. There's the add noise filter. There it is. Okay, it's noise. There's age to film. There's all different kinds of things I can use here. But there's one I'm specifically looking for, and that's this one, which I really like. So this is called crosshatch, and you can see it gives it, you can tell, but it gives it a kind of texture that looks almost like paper, but it gives it a kind of grungy street look that it wouldn't otherwise have. So I'm going to, we'll just drag and drop that on the first image, and again, I'm going to copy and paste those to the other ones. So we've already done the color correction, so I'm just going to do crosshatch. All right, so now all of the clips have that effect on it. Now, again, I didn't just choose any old random background. I chose something that supported that kind of hip, urban, grungy, but cool skateboarder lifestyle filter. So that was very much in service, this one's a little dark, in service of our story. Hang on, I'm going to lighten this guy just a bit here. Right, because the effect kind of darkens some things, so I'm just going to go back through. All right, so let's take a look at the color correction, the crosshatch filter to the music. Okay, so that really helped. It kind of kicked up all of those images, and we sort of made the best of it. It's still, though, not really jumping out at us. So I think we need to add some transitions and some sound effects to further complement this. And we're also going to add text because, again, while I'm going to be working on the sound effects and the transitions, with social videos, they should work without sound, but we're going to add it in case someone clicks on that speaker icon. So I'm going to come to my transitions, and because this is kind of grungy, I'm going to look for a transition. I don't mind this one. This is color planes. There's also, I think I'm going to do something called static at the beginning. So we've got this effect. Now this effect I think will work quite nicely with that crosshatch effect because we're looking at kind of like, I don't know, it's just sort of a grunge type thing. And I'm just going to add it to the beginning. I'm going to change the duration, make it shorter. Hang on. Okay, so we got it there. And I'm going to go ahead and add that. Let's close this. I'm going to copy it and add it to the first few shots, okay? And let's take a look. Okay, now I'm going to add another transition starting for this section because we use this over and over for even 24 seconds. That's going to get kind of boring. So let's come back to our transitions browser, and this is where I maybe want to put some color planes. So we've gone with static, which has to do with sort of TV static. So this kind of looks like color bars, which will probably work with that. So I'm going to just add that, change the duration, and we'll close it. And so I'll copy and paste that color planes transition in between the rest of them. And so let's take a look. Okay, so that really added some energy and excitement, and I do think that those effects work well. When you add a visual effect, it's always a good idea to add a little sound effect too. So I have some good sound effects. I have one here for the static that I'll add to the beginning. That works. It's a little too loud, but that works. Okay, so I'm going to just add that in front of each of the static. Hang on. I actually think I'm going to shorten it a little bit by coming to a custom speed. Let me zoom in, and I'm going to make it a little faster so that it's really just the length. Better. Okay. So I'm just going to copy it and paste it at each of the static transitions. Right? So okay, so we got that sound effect. Now let's find something for the color planes. And I kind of like this whoosh here, whoosh number 14. Let's see how that does. Again, I think I'm going to do a custom length on it and shorten it so it's just the length almost of the transition. And let's see how that sounds. Okay, awesome. Way too loud, so I'm going to lower that. A little too low. Yeah, okay, I like that. So I'm going to just copy and paste that in for each of those transitions. Now again, all of this, if you notice, as we're building, whether it's color correction or a video filter or transition, we're building it in so that it serves our story, which is to create this very cool lifestyle of a skateboarder. You know, he just goes to an asphalt playground in New York City and practices and practices, and it's very satisfying to him. So that's the story we're telling. And actually our story has a beginning, middle, and end. We have the beginning where he's getting ready to do what he's going to do. He's walking to go do it, and then he does it. And then at the end, he's done and is kind of tired and worn out. But it's a satisfied, what we're trying to say is it's a satisfied tired because he's accomplished something. So again, we're talking about lifestyle and selling that. So it makes you want to run out and buy that skateboard. So let's just watch it from the beginning to the end with all of those in and the music. Okay, so that's looking much more like something I might in social media. What's missing, of course, is graphics because it's supposed to work without sound. And also, I just want to point out with audio, I do have this city ambient noise, which could give us a nice sort of background noise to fill out the world of that playground. So now we've added kind of ambient street sounds, and that really does flesh out kind of the location. So let's get to graphics. So we know we need to add some graphics because it has to work without sound, and I've created a few already. So I'm going to put them, saving. All right, I'm going to put them in. And so what I did here with the text is I just took a very, it's called impact, that's that particular style. And again, it's kind of, it's pretty standard for social media videos, these large white letters. But impact really works for this particular story that we're telling of how awesome skateboarding is. So what I did was I led with a question. Since it looks like he's on a playground, it looks like he's playing, I put the question. It's always great to ask a question so that the viewer is engaged immediately. So the question I did was, how do you play? So let's just watch it with those graphics. Okay, so one of the challenges, again, was having this white letters without any drop shadow, because I think they look a little better that way, look less like a meme, is for it to stand out. And the cross-hatching in the background does help the white stand out, and it works for a couple of the shots. This one you can see at the top, you can't even read you, but I started it up there and dropped it just to give it a little energy. And then play, for this one, I moved it as he was walking past. So it kind of is in front of him and then goes behind him. And it asks that question, how do you play? And then he starts playing, right? So if we come back to my title sequence here, it's good to add some sort of social media directive, like a hashtag or a Twitter handle, so that the viewer or user can has a way to go and check out more about this product / lifestyle. So it's good to keep it up the entire time because it's only 24 seconds. So I just put hashtag kickflip. Kickflip skateboards is what we're selling here. I made it up, or I thought I made it up actually. It is a brand in the UK, I now know, but anyway, the hashtag kickflip. So that stays up the whole time. And then we want something for the end, just to kind of say what the product is. So all along we've been selling you the lifestyle, and then at the end we tell you what we're selling and what you should go get to be this cool. So let me come back, and I'm going to grab this one. And you can hear when the music makes that final noise, that bong. Okay, so on that bong, bong. All right, that's where we're going to start our final title. Maybe move it up just a bit. Little too. Right, so we have a little flare there that brings the letters on, right? So let's grab another sound effect. Anytime you have one of these, it's good to add a sound effect. It'd be like seeing a firework go off in a scene but not hearing anything. So however subtle or low, and if you watch, when you're watching television programming or anything and you see an effect, listen and you'll hear these whooshes in the background. So let's see how this works. All right, so this kind of a final whoosh. I'm going to take down our playground noise just a little bit, our city noise, and see what we have. So let's watch it. Let's take a look from beginning to end and see. Make the window a little bigger. So we can get a good look at it. All right. Okay, so if you remember, we had those 13 shots that were fine, but kind of unremarkable. And we added a color correction, we added a crosshatch filter, we added transitions and sound effects for the transitions. We added titles. So let's take a look. Okay, now, most importantly, let's take a look at it without the sound and see how we do. Okay, hope you can still hear me, good. All right, so this is what you should always do, and when you see our social media, how to edit a social media course, we'll go over this more. But it should work without the sound because, as you know, on social media, the sound is off by default, and if someone wants to listen to it, they have to click on the speaker icon. So you want to get their attention without audio. So let's watch it without and see if it's interesting enough. And even if they don't click on the sound and watch the whole thing, that's fine, because they have all the information they need on screen, right? So I would say that passes the test for working without audio. So that's using effects to tell a story. The story being a skateboarder is cool, and it's a lot of fun. So if you want to have that cool lifestyle, go out and buy a kickflip skateboard.
Thanks, Kelly. If you want to learn more about making videos for social media, sign up for a free trial at thevj.com and subscribe to our channel here for more professional video production tutorials.